Right, take two. I was going to say it's wobblier than someone else's mum's ass.
Wobblier than someone's mum's ass.
Wobblier than my ass. There we go.
You don't really have an ass, do you?
She's got legs and a back.
Then a heat.
Legs, back, and a head.
Yeah.
The people in Hong Kong got a problem with smoking, haven't they?
Apparently.
So what are they doing to fix it?
So there's an agenda on the go at the moment in Hong Kong where they've just got this thing where you just stare at people who do smoke and make them feel a bit silly, and apparently that's going to eradicate smoking.
Maybe what if they start doing it with people that are drinking as well? Because we're going to have problems with that.
We just don't go to Hong Kong then.
Because I did 185 days of being a sanctimonious ball bag.
I thought it was 187.
Oh yeah, what did I just say?
Just
185? It was 186 actually. So I was splitting the difference, but it depends whether you take it from midnight or whether you're taking it from. It was 186 days and 12 point something hours.
X amount of days.
Basically 187 because I stopped drinking at midnight on Boxing Day, but I was only really counting from the 27th of December.
Right.
So if you're counting that extra 12 hours plus the nearly 12 hours I didn't drink for on that Saturday before my birthday, I feel like you always round up in maths, don't you? You don't round down. Don't know many things about maths, but I do know that.
Right, no, everybody's bored.
I'm also slowly disappearing into this bush. Wouldn't be the first time. We also need to tell you about where we are and why we've decided to come here. We've just been at a care home all day, chatting up old ladies. We did actually sell some candles though, which we're flabbergasted about. And then we decided to look for somewhere to go for a pint. We're both big fans of a podcast called The Lesbian Supper Club. There's a bar in Wakefield called The Supper Club. And we thought, what's better than a couple of lesbians in the supper club?
But we are the Lesbian Supper Club 2.0.
We are the Lesbian Supper Club 2.0, and I've walked in carrying my tripod as well, so we've already made a bit of a scene of ourselves. And it was only £9.40 for a pint of Heineken Silver and a pint of Guinness, which is pretty impressive. What do you think?
So Wakefield's a place to be, isn't it?
Wakey. We're off to Wakey Wines next, if anyone knows where that is. You heard of Wakey Wines?
No.
No, it's this man on TikTok, this little Asian guy who runs a little supermarket.
I was going to say something, but...
Yeah, he runs a corner shop, that's what I was thinking of, one of them little supermarkets. It's not a supermarket, just a little shop. But he was like, when that Prime was all the rage, he was getting cans of Prime and people were driving from like 150 miles away, and he was doing videos of them shouting, "Where's the best place in Wakefield for your wine?" And then they had to go, "Wakey Wine!" Wakey Wine, so we might go there after.
Mightn't we?
No,
we won't.
But he's now like a bit of a sensation on TikTok. He's like an influencer. Just a little Asian man with a pot belly who's got a corner shop who sells cans of Prime and asks people to shout Wakey Wines.
But would you get people to shout every time they want to be a candle?
Mate, I was just about asking you this exact same question. Well, we did go through a phase of muttering under our breaths whenever we saw somebody at a candle event. Would you like a kiss with that? So if anybody shouted, "Would you like a kiss with that?"
Yeah, but that was reserved for some of the more obscure people would get.
Yeah, like the...
Like, for example, that man today, did you hear that man today? He was staring right into the cans and being like...
What's in there then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like...
And then he thought there should be pairs of women's pants in there.
He said he went somewhere...
So Laura whipped hers off. We charged him £12.50.
I would have went more than that.
£12.50 for your pants?
Aye.
I mean, I'd give some mine to someone for the price of this.
I've got a mate, Bianca, shout out Little Boo, who has got a fabulous... She wants to start a business where they just sell your dirty knickers to random perverts on the internet.
I don't think anyone would want mine because everyone keeps mistaking me for a bloke. But I mean, there might be some niche in that. There is men out there that like women who look like blokes.
No, but there's also a niche for women buying men's dirty underwear. So
what?
Nah.
No, that's foul. What about women buying the dirty women's underwear?
I mean,
how do you know as well though? Because you could just... I've seen people doing it on TikTok, and they just get like a bit of something dirty and smear it in the gusset and pretend they've had them on. What would you smear in the gusset?
Yeah, what would I smear in my
To sell your pants on the internet.
Oh. whatever the request would be. If there's anything, in fact, this is going the wrong way.
Mackerel.
Oh, fuck off.
Some of them do it with like Nutella and things like that. Like I would know Nutella if I smelt it, even if it was in someone's gusset. How many times have you said gusset now?
Too many.
I think I should have brought my microphone as well because we're going to get all sorts of background sounds, but it's okay because we'll put the captions on, even if I have to sit and manually put a load of captions on, it'll be all good. I was going to ask you something else before we started talking about people selling their underwear.
Well, you were on about that little old man
asking people if, do you want a kiss with that?
Oh, yeah.
And we would say it to the weirdest people that we could find, so there was the woman with the chocolate finger.
Oh yeah, she was prodding in all the candles.
She came up because we had...
covered in chocolate.
Well, we had free sweets on the table and she came over and she was like, these free?
Is that the same woman?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, these free. And she had a load of chocolate in her gob. But she had it all over her hands as well, and she was like she was like a witch, wasn't she? Or something. She was like bent over like a witch, these free, and then stuck her finger in the candle, and there was an actual chocolatey imprint. I don't know whether she was made of chocolate and she was melted, or whether she did just have chocolatey fingers.
Either way, on it.
Not like actual chocolate Cadbury's chocolate fingers instead of human fingers. It was a human finger.
Smeared in chocolate.
Just covered in chocolate. It was nice. We have had some absolute rare breeds as well. What else have we had? There's been some classics.
That old man and Danny.
They're making the dog noises. Is that
They're
who
barking
you
at us.
said?
The one that, this guy one day decided to start barking at us because Sophie had a dog with us. And he told us this weird story about cows and how dogs like to bark at cows or cows like to moo at dogs. It was one of the other ways.
Yeah,
And he started mooing at the dog first.
Yeah, he was going
Mooing at the dog.
but like right in my face. He was also dressed like a dishevelled Santa Claus, wasn't he? He looked like he'd shat his pants. And he was wearing a little red hat, but it was like stuck up on the top of his head like this. And then he also then asked me if I'd been breastfeeding the dog, didn't he? Which obviously I have been doing. How do you think she's grown so big and strong?
So
we've seen him a few times though. We've seen him 2 years in a row, didn't we? That's what we have to put up with.
I think he just... And also, he never went to anyone else's stall, he only came to ours. So, but I think we've kind of got that where, yeah, some socially challenged people will seek us out.
Yeah.
But then maybe because we're a bit socially challenged.
Yeah, people just take one look at us and think that's the place for me. And anyone that approaches the stand or approaches you anywhere, not the stand like they're about to be sentenced, just like approaches our stand at a market with their hands behind the back, you know that there's going to be a problem. Like them that walk over to you and they're walking about like this, and they're coming up to you like that, like with their hands behind the back.
Remember that little man who was like that before, and he was raging at us because he kept asking us obscure. He had no interest in buying a candle. All he wanted to know was if we had the permission of the breweries to be using their cans and selling the candles.
Yeah,
and he was asking if we were bothered about the copyright. Asked if anyone had ever gave us like in trouble for using their cans, and we were like, well, no, because the cans are bought and sold, and once it's our property, it's our property. We don't know.
And he was trying to say to us that he used to work for a brewery, and there's no way that would have been okay.
Aye.
Yeah. I think he's the same person that's in charge of the ETSI violations because we get one of them on a weekly basis. I've given up with that nonsense. We're not participating in ETSI anymore. Shite. Someone needs to do something about that. I've still got about 300 quid of ours stuck in there for Christmas because apparently that's acceptable. Send one candle to America and that's it. You're not allowed any more money ever again. Aye. Madness. He was a queer old bastard though, wasn't he?
Strange man. Strange. He just was looking for a wee bit of an argument.
I just wanted to fight, didn't he? And I was being interviewed by some woman who was like meant to be judging us at the time, so we couldn't even get violent with him. Like I wanted to say,
Yeah,
look.
so Sophie, like, out with this guy's conversation, she was getting like interviewed by someone else, and he was like giving me all the questions.
I think it was Look North, wasn't it?
On about?
It was BBC News.
Who headphones?
Big Phil. I think it was question time. I think it was Jeremy Paxman and Fiona Bruce, and they were asking me my opinion of the world and politics.
I mean, they would never interview like it if they started asking you about politics.
But I feel like I handled it quite well because he was being an argumentative, bullshit little twat, wasn't he? And I was just answering his questions very calmly.
Well, I was answering his questions initially, and you were getting interviewed by, I think it was Tanya or someone else.
Tanya?
Tanya. And
Yeah, what was I think? Tanya and that big tall lady who was dressed all glamorous. She was like the mayor of Newcastle or something, wasn't she? She was something to do with the competition, but she was just there for us to try and impress her, basically. And instead, I was being interrogated. It was like I was doing my law degree all over again. It's like, I don't care about whether it's copyright. We've taken something out of a bin and filled it with candle wax. Last time I checked, that wasn't illegal. But...
And that little fella from today, the point of like his thing, he was at something recently where it was still beer candles, like not candles, sorry, but beer cans with women's underwear in it.
Filled with knickers, yeah, but I think he might have been getting the wrong end of the stick a bit because they were doing a tombola as well. And the tombola had some jars of string.
Wool.
Well, yeah, wool.
You could win a washed out, a rinsed out Domeo jar full of cuttings of wool in it. It was just like the odds and ends that people would never use, and they were just there, and that's what you could win in the tombola. So,
and I mean that's a bit far even for me. Like I love things like that. Like I'd be all over it if it was a jar of actual Dolmio sauce. Happy days.
You'd much rather play the tombola in a jar of sauce than you would a jar of wool.
And from a distance, it looked a little bit like some weird sort of organs in a jar because all the colours that they picked were like pinky orange and weird colours. I thought it was confetti. I thought we were having another George Osborne protest at his wedding for being a naughty boy going on. We also had a little old lady who was convinced that she knew us. She come over to the table today and she had these big massive glasses on. She looked like the lady out of The Incredibles, the one who makes the outfits. I think she's called Edna Mode. She looked just like Big Edna. And she was convinced that she knew us, but she didn't. And then she was dancing, and I said to Laura that she was dancing exactly like how Catherine Tate walks in when she's dressed up as a grandma. She was like shuffling about like that, like that. But she was having a lovely time. There was a disco, wasn't there?
There was a disco.
There was a disco. I said to Laura at one point, this is like Phoenix Nights. It was like a true reflection of the north of England all in one room, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But we sold some candles.
Sold some candles.
We got a bottle of Corona.
We got a bottle of Corona that we had to go and scrape
One
money
each.
out
We
of the car
didn't we didn't share it, but we were nearly good enough to share it because we had to make a donation, and embarrassingly neither of us had any money.
Yeah, we didn't realise it was cash only, so we went to the bar and asked for 2 bottles of Corona, and it was like, that would be £6, and I was like, I've had enough £6, do you take
Laura
that?
went outside and snogged some woman in the car park for £6. That's what actually happened. Because Laura has been known to take a woman's socks off in the car park. Laura, unprovoked. We might have to cut the video again there and restart again at this point. But she has been known to take a woman's socks off.
There's so much more context to that. So.
And I've done far worse things.
You've done far worse in car parks than me, to be fair.
For no money at all. Aye.
No money, and your pride's taking a bit of a dent as well.
Mate, my pride it's been a long old slog trying to get it back to somewhere near being intact.
Is it even intact?
I don't think it ever will be. I think it's
you've made peace with that.
part of the charm, I would like to say. I don't know. But so far today, no one's thought that I'm a bloke, so we're doing well so far.
Not yet.
We were in a care home, and I mean, I think everyone was looking at me thinking that I was a bloke. I was trying to if anyone had, and if anybody had actually asked, I was going to try and get away with saying that was your brother.
Probably could have been.
Because we look vaguely enough alike when I've got long hair that we could be mistaken as being relatives, maybe cousins or something.
Yeah,
we both got blonde hair and blue eyes.
Was more like brother and sister.
Yeah, like Laura looks a lot like my brother because he's a big handsome bastard. He's got a big square jaw. And we all know Laura's got some jaw fans out there, and I've got no jaw at all. Like Laura's got all the jaw for both of us. You could cut cheese with it. I mean, I think you're supposed to say something nicer than cheese, aren't you? But that could even take on a bit of parmesan on its own. That could take on the right. That's when anyone asks us how we make the candles, how we cut the tops of the cans. I'm going to stop saying the tin opener, and we just get the can like this, and we round the jar like that, and then we just pop the top out. Jobs are good.
This is why I need to put up on a daily basis.
So, but now we look like brother and sister, rather. And I was in Warrington last night, and there was a guy in there, a very gay guy, who was talking to me, and he was trying to chat me up about my hair. I think because he was a hairdresser, and I was saying to him, both. I asked him, and he was quite offended that I asked him the question because I presumed that they weren't the same thing. I thought you either did one or the other, and he said, he said that he cuts people's hair, the hair of human beings. So he didn't care what type of hair it was. So I asked him to give me an evaluation of my hair that I've cut myself. And I think he gave me 7.5 out of 10, but I also asked him to guess how old I was. And he said anywhere from 25 to 45, I haven't got a clue.
You do have that girl face, like she's either needing ID or she's got to get a bus pass.
Yeah, I've got like a little bit of grey going on the side, so you never really know. I'm going to be silver fox like Andy Craggs or Philip Schofield. He's had far too much airtime in this so far.
He has anyway.
I think you get banned from social media for mentioning his name as well. So
yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I don't know whether this will go well on YouTube. We also didn't realise when we came in here that we would have a little beer garden to do this in, and forest a wall of bushes behind.
And we've already just been soaked with rain, so it's a bit of a brave move.
It is a brave move, but it's given us a nice backdrop, hasn't it? It looks like we've done it on purpose. We look like proper influencers. It's giving me Dr. Inks and Darlington vibes.
Thanks and Darlington,
Where there's grass on the walls.
We like Dr. Inks.
We do like Dr. Inks. We like Darlow in general, but Wakefield's giving me Darlow vibes. I feel like it's cheaper for 2 pints here than it would be in Darlow. Maybe, I think so. When I was out the other week, yeah, it was well expensive. I got cocktails in that place under the market. And the vault. I was saying I got them, it was my birthday, so my mum got them. £31 for 3 cocktails.
I mean, the math doesn't even work out there.
It was £31. I think it was
Too much anyway.
Yeah, it was well over. It might have been £31.50, so there might have been £10.50 each.
Yeah.
Is that the right maths?
That's perfect maths.
That's expensive, that wasn't. And I got what do I like? A mojito. I never told you about this. You'll probably be. I don't know if you'll be horrified by it or you'll like it. I got a mojito, but it had a bit of bitters in the top.
Oh no.
No. But it was actually really nice. It was like the difference between a cup of normal tea and a cup of Earl Grey tea.
Right, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Better.
Just a little bit of, like, I did a bit of spice on the top, yeah.
But don't call it a mojito, call it something else.
But I went in Vesuvio and seen Sophie and our pal. She was giving us some of that lovely rum again with the turtle on. It was so good. DT drank a whole bottle of that pretty much while we were
That
in.
is dangerous.
And I was on the red wines after not drinking for 186.5 days. It was a brave old move after I'd already had pints and cocktails and whatnot, but handled it like a champ. And I went in there and told her, because she's a big fan of her cocktails, and she was like, that is pervert behaviour. So she wanted us to go back and name and shame, but I said, no, I actually enjoyed it. So, but I've always liked weird things like that.
The more obscure, the more, like, you know, you've done some and be like, what's the one thing that no one ever buys?
I'll have 5 of them.
Yeah.
And I'll have them all right now. It's like sour beers as well, I love them.
Perverted.
Laura's not a fan.
No.
Laura's not a fan, but I am going to make a try. There's this one by Mash Gang, who are like my new faves. Even though I'm now back on the hard stuff, I'm still a big fan of the Mash Gang beers. And there's one of theirs that's absolutely spot on. It's like a smoothie and a beer at the same time. It's one of them really mango-y ones that's got all the pulp in.
I might just either have a smoothie or a beer. Don't have
No, both at once.
Nah.
It's like having a Irish coffee. Irish coffee. I don't know if I did that on the camera. No, I didn't. I was trying to simulate pouring some Irishness in my coffee, but it looked a bit bad.
Yeah.
But it's really good. It's called mango, marsh mango or something it's called. Because it's a mango marshmallow sour. It's really nice, but it's all like pulpy.
Oh no, absolutely not. The whole thing sounds tragic.
Like a music festival in the 90s, full of pulp.
Stop again.
Yeah, I told you my joke earlier about that place near me, just off the East Lancs, called Walkden. That's where you've got to go if you've got no car. You've got to walk down.
That is an Andy Craig's joke.
That is an Andy Craig's joke, and it's a little bit of a if you know, you know, because people are going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? For people from Darlow, it's like the equivalent of the A66, and it's about the equivalent of like Thornaby or something like that. It's just a place called Walkden.
Just a place.
It's what you do if you can't run. We might be scraping the barrel now.
We are scraping the barrel.
Also, when we're on the way here, we had to take a detour to go to the petrol station. And then I thought that man was going to tell you off when you parked behind his car.
Was the Tesla driver?
Oh yeah, because he was making a right meal and being able to reverse out of that space.
Something that could have been like a 5-point turn at most. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't like wedged in. He just had to like. It wasn't quite a 3-point.
Laura had rammed him up the arse straight to the front of the petrol station.
But it was like it was giving it all the. It was just making life difficult for himself. So that is not my problem. The fact that the man can't drive.
No, it's like the other day I was walking the dogs on the field. And they were both on the lead because I was nearly at home. And then this little old guy was walking his Yorkshire Terrier, and it comes sprinting over across the field to see my dogs. And he set off chasing it because he thought it was going to go in the road. Fell over. Twisted his ankle, and then chases me down to tell me off because his dog wanted to see my dogs, and I was just
I can imagine that went well for him.
walking home. I was like, what are you talking about? I said, mine are on a lead, I'm going back to my house unless your Yorkshire Terrier's coming with me. How is it my fault?
Yeah,
You fell over, you ball bag.
What did he say to you?
He was just getting irate, and he looked like Jack Duckworth of Coronation Street, but he had a big massive belly, Mr. Greedy. And he definitely thought I was a man as well. He was like, oh mate, what's going on? Because they all thought like that around where I live. What's happening? They're angry about everything. Like, you say good morning to them. Morning. I'm joking.
I just don't say mum.
Yeah, I don't normally. I don't. It's not like a Scottish accent over here.
No, I think like my accent can be quite aggressive, so it's about walking or whatever and you pass somebody like, hi. Some people just look at you.
Aye, that's another story from the markets. There's been so many times where, especially when we were first doing them in Darlow, people would come up to the stall and they'd just be doing their hands behind the back, having a look, prodding the finger in things, and Laura would go, yeah, right.
I'd be like, hi, how you doing? And they'd be like,
what's going on?
And walking away, like all shuffly. Like,
what's wrong with Ramsey Nesbitt over here? I think it's just because it's like when we were up in the Scottish Highlands, I was thinking that that's not a massively Scottish accent in comparison to what you'd think it would be. They all have quite soft accents. And I was talking to a guy in a pub, and it's because most of the people that live in the Highlands were initially English people, but dating back to the wars and stuff. Yeah. So we took it over, so that's why they have quite soft Scottish accents. A lot of them only really sound like Geordies.
And look, that's why you are all stuck with these accents now.
Yeah. But then you've got quite a strong Scottish accent. I mean,
apparently, I think it's
a nice Scottish accent.
If you were ever to go back to where I'm from, apparently my accent's super soft now. But I don't know. I don't really think about it.
Yeah, it's not as soft as an Edinburgh accent. Like, they all sound like just like slightly posh Geordies, is what they sound like. I've barely got any Scottish amongst them all. I was talking to a man on the beach though when we were up in Scotland, in Cullen. You've heard of that before, where Cullen Skink's from?
Is that what it's from?
Yeah. Went in the sea there, and it was genuinely the saltiest sea I've ever been in my life. Like, it came out and had everything had shriveled up, like it had been dehydrated, and then for like 2-3 days afterwards, everything tasted of salt.
I mean, that's
no, I promise you. I had been licking my wetsuit every day. But we went in a pub there, and the lady in there had a very she sounded like, you know, when Miriam Margolyes does a fake Scottish accent. It's like a bit of a comedy Scottish accent. It's very high pitched, but she sounds like that.
See that.
Yeah.
Send me that footage. Because we love Miriam.
We love big Miriam. Like that is what I aim to be, but just more way short back and sides.
Sat eating onions.
Oh yeah. Would you prefer to have a radish or sex? Well, it depends how good the sex is. Would you rather have a pint of Guinness or sex? Would you rather have a beer candle or sex? If somebody says that to us at a market, they can have 3 free ones.
Yeah.
And a kiss with that from Laura.
Absolutely not.
Laura's the one doing the kissing these days.
Absolutely not.
Back when we first started saying that, it was just I could be doing the kissing, but I'm a taken woman now, so Laura was under her breath at everyone that we sell a candle to, even at this old people's home today. Do you like a kiss with her? Do you like a kiss with her?
Whoever everyone knows, she is talking shy.
I am talking shy, yeah. Laura's got very, very, very high standards. But with a jawline like that, you can afford to have high standards, can't you? When you've got no chin at all like me, you can't have any standards. And
You actually do have a bit of a chin. I'm looking at you on here. No. I mean, not when you do that, you just look like an old man.
I only have a chin if I force the issue. On its own, it wants to not be there.
Okay.
But someone told me the other day that I've got a very good top lip. So pointy.
Pointy top lips. there we
Pointy
go.
top lip. Yeah, that's actually what they told me, is that's what makes me not look like a bloke.
Your lips.
I did once win a kissing competition, not like kissing people, kissing a. I maybe have won a competition like that before. Kissing a piece of paper. I had the best kissing print. I had to have put some lipstick on.
Why don't you
I was going to say
print on the candles?
mascara then. Don't put that on your lips.
Mascara. I could not imagine you in mascara. Have you ever worn it before?
No, but the first time me and DT ever met, she thought I had mascara because I've got quite long eyelashes.
Aye. Long and blonde.
Long and blonde.
Aye.
Sort of blonde. Just a mucky sort of colour all over. My hair and my skin is all the same colour.
You just need a good bath, don't you?
Yeah. My grandma used to make me scrub my hands when I was little because she thought they were dirty. I was just really tanned. Just mucky. Just a mucky lady. I've now permanently got ink under my nails as well, but that's another story for another time.
It is.
But yeah, we thought we'd just bring you on our adventure to the supper club. We are not the lesbian supper club. I mean, we are lesbians in the supper club, and we will probably be rivaling them in a couple of months, I think. So guys, watch out because we're after you. And I'm only joking. Our chat's very, very different from that. We've got a very different aesthetic going on. I mean, you would fit in, but I mean,
absolutely not.
Supper club. That's what it is. But yeah, we thought we'd bring you to the lesbian supper club. Bring you for a pint.
And Sophie's got me roped into these little videos now, which
just doing it for the gram, doing it for the algorithm, doing it to keep Mark Zuckerberg happy, and to try and get as many followers as possible. This is our first instalment. Oh dear. Oh dear. Hopefully you guys can all hear that. But aye, this is the first instalment. We're going to do some podcasts and stuff like that. But everything.
It's probably a bit shit. We've not really had any kind of agenda, so if we just put up a tripod and
we've just talked nonsense, and we've managed to fill half an hour. I mean, we did used to work together, so you can imagine what that used to be like. Like we'd go in at 8:30, and then sometimes just a load of things would happen, and then it would be home time. Like we wouldn't have even been for our lunch. We'd have just been sat there looking at each other talking nonsense. Laura would normally be trying to do a job, but it's me. I'm the problem.
More proud than you when it comes to things like that, innit?
Yeah, correct.
Get that more of a work ethic.
In the words of Taylor Swift, I'm the problem, Anna. Always have been, probably always will be. Acknowledgement of it is half the battle, isn't it?
It is, mate.
Acknowledging that you are the problem.
Know your strengths, know your flaws in your...
Mate, it's fucking hailstone in July. Wakefield, what's going on? Right, that'll do us. We'll see you again soon. We're going to Leeds next week for a big night out with a load of roasters, us two. In a house full of some more lesbians. It's basically going to be like an extreme version of that The Ultimatum, but I'm in a relationship.
It's not really going to be The Ultimatum, is it? It's going to be more like The Hangover.
Yeah.
Sophie seems to think we're all still knocking about in our late teens, early 20s, and we're all going to be going out and lads on the pool, but we're not. We're going to have a nice
I'm not going to be on the pool.
I'm not going to the pool either. As much as I could, I ain't.
Okay.
I just want to have a nice time.
I am going to get a tattoo on my face like Mike Tyson though. Laura's going to knock her teeth out and we're going to fight a tiger. So.
I mean, I'd have much more chance of all of that happening than you going on the pool.
Okay. That jawline does what it wants though, get a few drinks in it. Who knows, it's anyone's. The women just come from miles around for that jawline. And I'm only really going to chat up birds for Laura because she's got no fucking chat on her own. I'm joking, she's got loads of chat, but everyone needs a wingman.
Even if I wanted a wing woman or not, you would just be that person. You would just take it upon yourself to do that.
Well, it's basically that
I feel
it
like
makes...
you do that anyway. Even though you're in a relationship, you absolutely love like just chatting people up and flirting with them. That's your vibe.
Even like old men, anyone that's breathing. Anyone with a pulse, right. I'll talk.
You're right, it is actually pissing down.
And I only do the chatting up for you to make people realise that you're the better option. Like I'm doing you a solid. Like people are like, get her away from me. But yeah, on that note, it is actually pouring down. Look.
Okay.
Bye.